Alrighty, today we are painting a Space Marine. We're going to paint him pretty normally to start off here. And then we are going to move on to, as the title said, a fun and new, at least new to me, I've never seen this before. It's kind of a dumb idea, so I don't know why I would have seen it. New and exciting way to paint battle damage on a miniature. So I'm going to go ahead and just paint this guy normally. I'm doing a custom chapter. I was talking to a friend of mine, Connor, the other day, and he was trying to come up with a new custom chapter. And one of the ideas that he tossed aside I actually thought sounded pretty cool as a Blood Angel successor. So I'm just going to paint him in that scheme. And then I'll do all that in time lapse, and then we will come back when it's actually time to do the battle damage. Alrighty, so we've got our Space Marine here, painted. Not to a crazy high fidelity of a paint job, obviously, but, you know, definitely battle ready. Obviously minus the base, but the Marine itself, battle ready. And now we are going to edge highlight him, but everywhere we mess up, because we're going to mess up when we edge highlight a Marine, unless you are... Actually, no, not even. I bet even the best painters in the world still mess up their edge highlights from time to time. So, whenever I mess up the edge highlight, I'm going to, instead of fixing that, I am going to turn that spot into battle damage with my X-Acto knife. I'm going to cut out that piece of the Marine, and then I'll paint it gray, paint some silver in it, and call it a day. So I'm going to start off here with this Signal Red from paint marker from, there it is, AK Interactive, and I'm just gonna edge highlight the red here. So I'm gonna start with the knee pad, and I'm gonna try to be careful, but you know, anywhere that just doesn't look right, I'll come back in and I will I'll turn that bit into battle damage. This idea came from, I was just chatting with a couple of my friends at game night one night, and I realized, I don't remember what we were talking about, but I realized that this could be an interesting idea. And so I figured I'd give it a whirl. This paint marker is a little bit dinged up on the tip, so this isn't the greatest thing for edge highlighting, but that's alright. Well, it'll just give us more opportunity for battle damage when it looks a little off. Alright, we got the red highlighted, and we definitely messed up in a couple spots, but that's okay, that's the point of the video. Now I'm going to use some of this Andrea black, I think this is number 3 or 4, I don't know. The numbers are rubbing off on these, so I'm using sort of a medium gray. And I'm using a brush, obviously, and I'm just going to edge highlight his black arm here. This chapter, I think, was going to be called the Shadow Angels. Like I said, I stole it from a friend of mine who was going to paint this as a successor, but then decided not to. And I can't remember what he was going to call it. I think it was the Shadow Angels. I'm trying to be careful and edge highlight this properly. I don't want this video to just be like, oh, I'm messing up on purpose so I can make sure to get battle damage everywhere. I'm trying to edge highlight appropriately. I'm not trying like super hard, but I'm not just trying to purposely mess up either. Alright, that will do, I think. And then the last thing is I'm going to take some Auger Blue, and I'm going to highlight some of the silver with this and do the power bead on the sword. So I'll start there. There we go. And then I'm just going to highlight some of the buttons and the rivets and things on this bolt rifle. And just that like sort of hint of blue in this. It's called Auger Blue, and it is technically very light blue, but it's almost off-white, to be honest. But that light tiny bit of blue will help with the contrast, or it will contrast with the red and help the paint job look a little bit better. All right. And you know, I said last thing, but we need to do the leather real quick. So for that, I'm going to take another paint marker. This time Dunkelgelb, one of my favorite colors from the AK paint line. Let me see if I have a different one. This one's kind of beat up. How about this one? Oh, that's better. I use them for painting German tanks for bolt action, and so the tips get kind of beat up sometimes. Cover that little goof I had with the red earlier. That will do for a battle ready paint job. All right, so I'm going to let all that dry completely, and then we'll come back and we will start exploring this model with our X-Acto knife. All right, this model is mostly dry now. So we are going, let me clear a little bit of space here. We are going to go through the model with our X-Acto knife and just find the spots where we messed up, either on the edge highlight or otherwise, that's the word, and just start putting some battle damage in. So this isn't really a mistake, but it doesn't look that good just because of how contrast behaves. There's sort of like a watermark right here. Hopefully you can see that, this like tide mark right there. So sounds like to me that we need a big old gash right there. So I'm just going to come in and cut away some of the plastic here. And you know, technically we will be painting directly onto bare plastic when we do this, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world, really. I wouldn't want to do that as a permanent or an all the time feature, but for just these couple things, not the end of the world. So just going to be exploring around now, and we've got this little speck of white here. I'm not really sure how that happened, so I'm just going to come in. Now it's a gouge where a bullet or who knows what hit the armor. Oh yeah, he's gonna want to pop off his handle here quite a bit, so let's get that out of there. Cool. Let's see where else. This I noticed this when I was doing it. This whole thing here is a bit this edge highlight's a bit large, so I think I'm gonna do a puncture wound here. So I'm just gonna take my X-Acto knife and spin it, and whatever comes up comes up. There we go. And up here as well, that edge highlight's a bit chunky, so we'll just come in, spin the knife around, and see what we end up with. And look, we scratched the paint off over here. That's okay. That's now a gouge. Just chip some of this right off here. We'll even go down into this second layer. And you know, physical battle damage can be a little bit scary on models that you've fully painted, but you know, it's not the end of the world. It'll be okay. This down here is kind of a chunky edge highlight, so let's just come in here and cut some of it out. That'll work. Just trim it so that we don't have any hanging bits of plastic there. There we go. Looking around again. I noticed this. This doesn't look too bad far away, but it is kind of chunky, so let's just put a big old gash right down his leg here. Why not? Like I said, make sure you get all the hanging plastic and stuff out of there. Then we'll go around right here on his elbow. That looks a little chunky. We'll give that a nice gash. Sure. Let's see, where else? On this knee pad right here, we'll take a little notch out of his knee pad. Why not? There we go. And let's see where else. Right in here. Well, it's kind of hard to get to. Maybe I'll think about his shin pads as I keep going here. I do want to do right on his head here. I think I'm going to do sort of up, back like this. Just because that is a bit chunky. Just kind of carve out a thing here. Thinking about like either a bullet grazed him or a, you know, an orc sword came through, or who knows. Tyrannid claw, something like that. All right, well that might be good. I'll keep exploring this miniature with the X-Acto knife, see what else I get up to, and then I'll come back and we'll paint in, or paint back in, this battle damage. Alrighty, so I finished going around and adding the battle damage. The last major thing I did was I added these 3 scratches right there, like, you know, some beast clawed him or something. So now we are going to come in with our medium gray. We'll go with... This looks good. This is Andrea in the blacks, number 2. It's a nice medium gray. We don't already have this gray on the model, so that's good. And you do have to be kind of careful on this step. This is the same principle as painting base damage normally without gouging your miniature. You just want to lay down this base coat of gray that's like basically the ceramite underneath. And we just want to be careful, like I said, we want all of our gray to be inside the gouges and stuff that we've made. We don't want to get any gray out on the red armor. So just go around very carefully. Basically just painting in the lines here, filling in the bits that we gouged out. Come over here and very carefully get this. Alright, so you guys get the idea. You just go around painting in everywhere that you scratched up the miniature. And then once this is dry, I'll come back and we'll do the last 2 steps of the whole thing, pretty much. Alrighty, so for the last 2 steps, we're going to use this tourmaline, there's the word, skin, and shining silver. Basically, you just want a super light version of whatever your armor color is, and then a very bright silver. And as you can see, even the label on this is bright. So that's what we want. We're going to start with the very bright silver. And I'm going to get a small brush here. And we're just going to find the very center, if my brush will cooperate. One moment, please. There we go. We're going to find the very center of each of our battle damage sections. And we're just going to put some of this in the very middle. Basically what we're thinking here is that the central gouge of this damage has gone down past the ceramite and into the internal structure of the armor here. So just in the center, in the deepest of the gouge, wherever that might be. It's going to be a little tricky on things like this that are so small. Probably should have made these claw marks a little bit bigger, but that's all right. From far away, we'll still get the picture, as long as we have some silver on there. And I will, of course, because I have a different color arm here, I'll have to do this next step with not the tourmaline skin, but a very light gray. But you'll get the idea just from when I do the red portions. Alright, so then we just have this bit on his head. Alright, I think we got it all. So there you can see on these bits on his leg right here, you can see how just the center part is that silver. Same back here. Just those center parts are the silver. And then we will take our tourmaline skin, in this case, and we're just going to ever so slightly highlight around where the damage is, but we're going to stipple it. So, stippling, if you're not aware, I'll do it here. You just are stabbing like that. Just like that. So imagine if this is our battle damage area, we're just going around in a circle like that. Typically, you stipple with bigger brushes to sort of create texture. We just want a sort of uneven highlight. We don't want an edge highlight. We just want a couple little spots, as if, you know, the little corners of this are turned up from the damage that's occurred. Just coming in and stabbing around the area. Come up to this bit on the shoulder. So we just do this. Oh, got a stray bristle here. Just do this all over the miniature where we have our battle damage. All right. That looks pretty good. Maybe a couple more stabs here and there. But overall, I think we are basically good to go. So I'm going to do the same thing on a couple bits of battle damage that we have here on the gray. And then I will stick this guy on a base, and I'll come back with the fully finished Marine and the outro. Alrighty, so here he is, all done. I am quite happy with how he came out, to be honest. I think this technique would require a little bit more refinement. I'm not so good at creating the physical battle damage yet, but this is only the first time I've tried it. So, you know, from idea to end result, I'm pretty happy with it. I did add a couple more things after I cut the video. I just put a little dot of blue in his eye, and I put some Nuln Oil on the gun. They weren't really relevant to the video. I just did that for my own personal preference, really. But yeah, overall, like I said, very happy with how it came out, considering it's my first attempt at it, and I think I'm going to try it again. So, thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I would encourage you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this in the future, and I will see you tomorrow.